Imagine this. It's Monday morning. You are on your third cup of coffee, deep into your email, when suddenly something doesn't add up. You glance at the glowing screen, your brow furrows, and there it is, the sneaky little line on your new hire's resume. Fluent in French. But yesterday during a casual hallway chat, it confidently greeted the office dog with bonjour woof. Oh, you just hired someone who lied on their resume. Now what? Before you lunge with the HR red button or print out pink slips, take a breath. You're not alone. Resume lies are more common than spilled laughs in an open office. In fact, data from recent studies reveals that around 64.2% of job seekers in the US admit to lying on their resume. That's not a typo. It means that more than half of the people sending you polished PDFs with results-oriented ninja in Helvetica New are hiding at least one not-so-tiny fib. In other words, if you've hired more than one person this year, chances are you've already welcomed a Pinocchio or two into your workforce. Let's be clear, these are not always criminal masterminds. Most of the time, it's embellishment, exaggeration, or some resume acrobatics designed to impress both the recruiter and the almighty applicant tracking system. The top area where job seekers lie: their skills. A whopping 60% exaggerate what they can actually do, followed closely by job responsibilities and employment dates. It's the job hunting equivalent of saying you're into hiking because you walked through a mall once. But why do people lie on resumes in the first place? Is there a secret society that hands out awards for the boldest Photoshop of a college degree? Not quite. More often, it boils down to desperation and pressure. The job market can be brutal, especially for those trying to break in, switch careers, or re-enter after a gap. Applicants fear being filtered out before they even reach a human being. With AI screening tools looking for exact keyword matches, some feel the only way to get noticed is to play dirty. A skill marked proficient becomes fluent, and volunteered in project becomes led cross-functional team in enterprise transformation. It's resume inflation, and it's running rampant. Now let's get back to your unfortunate discovery. You have confirmed the lie. Maybe they did not really work at Google for 2 years, or their MBA was from the University of Nowhere Online. Before you grab the intercom and shout "Code Red" through the office, take a step back. The first thing you need to do is verify the facts. Double-check the details through reference calls, background checks, or credential validation. You don't want to confront someone only to find out that the discrepancy was a clerical error, or worse, that you misread it. Once you are sure, it's time for the dreaded but necessary conversation. Call them in. Keep it professional. You don't want to start with "Explain this lie, you fraud." Instead, say something like, "We came across a discrepancy in your resume regarding XYZ, can you help clarify?" Often, the reaction tells you more than the explanation. Sometimes the candidate panics and confesses instantly. Sometimes they go into full defense mode, offering elaborate justifications that feel like a rejected plotline from Suits. So how do you respond? That depends on the nature and severity of the lie. If the discrepancy is small, maybe they listed their employment dates a month off or exaggerated a role title slightly. You might chalk it up to resume fluff and let it slide with a warning and a documented note in their HR file. Everyone makes mistakes, and if they're otherwise a strong contributor, it might be worth moving forward. On the other hand, if the lie is about something significant, like fabricating a degree, claiming fake work experience, or presenting false certifications, the situation becomes far more serious. In most companies, this is a fireable offense. Many employment contracts explicitly state that falsifying credentials is grounds for immediate dismissal. Especially in regulated industries like finance, law, and healthcare, hiring someone under false pretenses can expose your company to liability, compliance violations, and even lawsuits. But what if they seem genuinely remorseful? This is the HR equivalent of a moral fork in the road. Some managers believe in second chances. If the lie did not materially affect their ability to do the job, and the employee shows real potential, you might consider offering training, mentorship, or probation. After all, there's truth to the phrase "fake it till you make it." Some people lie just to get their foot in the door, but are willing to do the work to earn their place. Still, be cautious. Keeping someone who lied can set a precedent. It may send the wrong message to your team that deception is tolerated as long as you're good at your job. That's a slippery slope paved with trust issues, morale problems, and passive-aggressive Slack messages. Before you know it, people start wondering what else is being overlooked, or worse, start bending the truth themselves. Integrity can't be conditional. When you compromise it once, You quietly rewrite the rules for everyone, and the cost of that cultural shift is often invisible until it's too late. To avoid being in this pickle again, you need to build prevention into your hiring process. That means implementing a strong resume verification policy, one that includes signed declarations, background checks for critical roles, and consistent enforcement across the board. Don't just threaten consequences, actually follow through when lies are discovered. If your policy says a resume lie will result in termination, but you let one slide, the next time someone gets caught they'll say, "But what about Chad from accounting?" Consistency is key. If you want your hiring policy to matter, it has to apply to everyone, not just the easy cases. It also helps to include skills tests and job auditions during the hiring process. Asking a candidate to actually demonstrate the claimed skill is one of the quickest ways to spot resume fiction. If someone says they're a spreadsheet wizard but can't use conditional formatting without Googling it for 15 minutes, you have got your answer right there. No need to wait for them to bumble a quarterly report. Practical assessments cut through the fluff. They reveal who can walk the talk, not just write it. And frankly, if someone struggles with the basics, it's better to find out in an interview than during a client presentation. There's also an increasing push for AI-powered resume screening tools that flag potential red flags like employment gaps disguised as job switches or unverifiable schools. While these aren't foolproof, they add an extra layer of scrutiny that can deter would-be fibbers. Think of them as your digital lie detectors, helpful assistants that can catch the little inconsistencies you might miss. Plus, when paired with human intuition, they make for a pretty solid defense. Just remember, automation should enhance your judgment, not replace it. So what's the big picture here? Resume lies can cost you more than just embarrassment or annoyance. Studies show that hiring the wrong person can cost a company up to 30% of the position's annual salary, and sometimes much more when factoring in training costs, lost productivity, and potential reputational damage. Worse, keeping a dishonest hire around can corrode team trust, especially if their coworkers are picking up the slack or correcting their mistakes. Suddenly, your whole team is frustrated, burnt out, and eyeing LinkedIn job alerts with the same hungry look your dog gives the fridge. The irony? Most people don't even need to lie. Research shows that employers value soft skills, adaptability, and willingness to learn just as much as hard experience. If candidates were honest about what they know and what they're excited to learn, they might get the job anyway. But fear, insecurity, and competition push some to take shortcuts. So what should you do when you find that lie? You should act quickly, but fairly. You should assess the situation, document everything, and decide whether it's a teachable moment or a deal breaker. Most importantly, you should build a hiring process that helps weed out the fiction before it ever gets to your inbox. And if you are ever in doubt, remember this: if a candidate says they were a chief unicorn wrangler at a startup that doesn't even have a website, maybe, double check. Or at least ask them to explain what that job entailed. If their answer includes phrases like rainbow logistics or horn-to-horn engagement, you might want to take another look at that reference list. And there you have it, folks, the wild world of resume lies decoded. If you found this video helpful, horrifying, or even just hilarious, smash that like and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, hire wisely, verify twice.